If you're like most women today, you've lost confidence to even walk down the street in safety. This may be for good reason. In North America alone, 20 women are brutally assaulted each minute. What you're about to see may seem violent and shocking, but we hope it will motivate you to practice the techniques which are presented here until they become second nature. Throughout the ages, women have often been regarded merely as sexual playthings. Nowadays, women are standing up for themselves and have claimed the right to consider one-sided sexual aggression as intolerable.
City Hall, this is a South train, destination Sandi. You are leaving the free fare zone. A fare must be paid to travel past this station. Passengers traveling to the northeast must disembark here and board a white-horn train.
She's trying to be friendly. What's wrong? What's wrong with you?
Every year, thousands of assaults take place on public transit systems. Unless you have the skill to quickly take control of a threatening situation, your life may be at stake. Let's see an example of how this aggressor could have been managed.
How are you doing? On your way home from work? Kind of late to be out, isn't it?
I'm not interested.
Well, I think we should.
I have to leave.
I want to stay. Yeah.
This technique offers you total control of an assailant. Get a practice partner and let's go through this method step by step with the aid of our instructor, Dusty Sackman, one of North America's foremost experts on self-defense.
If you find an aggressor grabbing onto your leg, you can come up, pushing forward on the elbow, keeping the arm bent, pulling back with your other hand, tuck it up in here again, we're back into an arm lock. Now, because this gentleman doesn't have very long hair, I've got nothing here to grab, so I can just grab onto an ear and use that.
Hey, babe, come here often.
Leave her alone.
Oh!
Ronnie, get out of here.
Oh, jeez,
Don't
honey.
bother me anymore.
Following a quick blow under the rib cage, which would put the attacker off guard, a technique referred to as joint lock is used, which is so effective that a child could easily render an aggressive adult helpless.
If you're standing and someone comes around and puts their arm on you, first you want to do is locate one or two fingers here, then come back, chip into the ribs, come down, pin his hand or wrist right on your leg. From that point, once you've got him anchored down here, you can reach in underneath the elbow and grab the thumb. Pull it back, making sure that anytime you go into this particular hold, you want to make sure that elbow's tucked in real nice and tight down here. Okay, I've got it in fairly good control here. Sometimes you'll find someone with a lot of flexibility in their wrist, so grab the fourth finger, pull it up, and sometimes you'll have to give it a bit of a twist too for a little added emphasis. Then you can come back in and kick and make them walk.
Just made it in here. How you doing?
Give me a little.
Hey, lighten up. Come on now.
Back off.
Okay, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just being a little friendly.
I mean it. Back off.
Come on, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. Come on. Hey. Oh. 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 Jeez.
Virtually all the joints of the upper body can be twisted and locked in such a manner as to make the most powerful aggressor a victim of your skill.
When you grab from the back collar, if you reach under, keep the top of his elbow facing up, and then come straight down on the elbow with both hands, fingers right on top, one on top of the other. You can force him right down to the mat this way, or if he's fighting up, what you want to do is place your knee directly in the middle of the outside of his thigh, right into here. There's a pressure point right here. So as he's fighting up, come in, just kick in here, and that'll take him down as well.
Well, we better let you get to it, so
Okay.
have a good morning.
We'll see you later.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Hey, babe. Look, I just want you to give me one more chance, okay? Look, I got some free time tonight.
I told you. Leave me alone.
Okay, left the message.
Get out!
One of the best defensive techniques is to quickly and forcefully apply direct pressure on sensitive areas on the aggressor's body. Let's go now to the studio where our instructor will demonstrate this technique in detail.
Sometimes it's advantageous to anchor the head with the other hand before you come up just underneath the chin on the pressure point, and then lift. That provides you a base to lift against.
Theft is not a new problem, but today it has become an enormous industry with traffic in everything from credit cards to children. Although we cannot advocate that you take an aggressive stance toward an armed and drug-crazed thief, there are skills that you can acquire which will allow you to maintain possession of the things which are rightfully yours.
Hey, come back here! Give me my purse! Come back up!
Having your purse stolen may not seem like an act of violence, but all women feel violated because of the loss of things which they consider irreplaceable or private. Sometimes it takes weeks to replace the important items which are needed every day. Even more important, the same criminal that stole your purse also has your address and the keys to enter your home.
Hey, let's get your purse.
In a situation where you use a hip toss off of purse snatching, as the attacker grabs the purse, you want to come around, make sure you loop the strap right around his neck, and then push with your fist right into the side of the face. After that, as you set up for the hip toss, shoot the hips all the way through, so you drag the attacker straight across your back. And go through. As you come down, again, plant the fist into the face, pull on the other side of the strap.
Child abduction is an ever-increasing reality. We are reminded daily that thousands of children fall victim to estranged parents, child prostitution rings, and other horrors which are beyond our worst nightmares. This method, if mastered, can be used to bring down any thief who is fleeing with what is rightfully yours.
If you find that you have to apprehend someone who's actually larger than you are, you can reach up, grab on the shoulders, and step on the back of his knee. That'll take him down, then grab onto the hair to control, step back on the pressure point in the middle of his calf. That'll certainly slow him down considerably. At that point, you can reach up, put your fingers into the eye sockets or into the nose and pull, or actually up right underneath the top lip. Very painful pressure area as well. To finish, use an elbow strike to the collarbone and then put your knee right into the upper back area, forcing him down forward.
Yes, I'm looking for chubby chicken over there.
What are you doing?
You may find yourself in a position with someone reaching across in front of you, or actually even putting their hand on top of your shoulder on the opposite side. If you find yourself in this position, you can reach up and pin his hand on the shoulder. Once it's pinned, use your other hand to move his elbow high, keeping the elbow bent, and retract the arm back in on top of your arm. Once it's locked up in behind his back, you can reach across, pull him forward, keep the hand in close to the body to control him. At this point, you can either stay on the shoulder or you can come back and grab onto an ear or anything else. Sometimes the hair works as well. Shuck from here, or actually go along and walk him along, using your leg in the back of his leg.
If your life is suddenly threatened, or you're being raped, what are you going to do? Some authorities have advocated a passive approach, allowing the aggressor to attack without resistance, for fear that your fighting back will only increase your chances of being hurt. On the other hand, women who have been raped will usually confess that they would rather die fighting than be raped again. There are now thousands of examples of women who have escaped their attacker through the sudden application of a powerful self-defense technique.
Hey, come on.
No way.
Come on.
If you find yourself grabbed from the side and pulled, first thing you're going to do is grab on just above the wrist, on the hand itself. Take a step with your outside leg as you come over with your elbow and step inside here. That'll lock up the wrist. You can take it straight on down. What we're doing is locking up this wrist in a vertical manner here. This way it works fairly good. But as soon as we lock it up to the side, it puts pressure on the joint. So as we come through here, we lock it up this manner here.
Right here. I'll be right back. Yes.
How you doing today, ma'am? I'm here from freelance and I've just
I'm
a couple
really
of things
busy
to
right
show you.
now.
It'll only take a
Appreciate
moment of
you
time. You don't
coming
mind if I come in, do you?
No, no,
It's
listen.
only going to take me just a second to
No,
set
I
up,
don't
and I know
have
you'll
time.
really appreciate
I
it.
don't have time to
Is your
look at
husband
things
home that he might be
today.
able
No,
to
it's not, but that's not the
great.
point. If
Hey, how about
you
just come
stop
over
it.
here?
No,
Come
get
on.
out.
Hey,
Stop it.
yeah.
No,
Come on,
stop it.
come on.
Stop it. No. No. Stop. Stop. No. Stop it. No. No.
Come on, come on. Don't fight. Don't fight.
Stop.
Fight it.
No. No.
Yes.
How you doing today, ma'am? I'm from Freelance Enterprises. I have just a couple of things to show you. It'll only take a few
Listen,
moments of time.
I'm really sorry. I'm
it's something,
just very
ma'am,
busy right now
this
with
is
my
something
son.
that every
Please.
household really, really needs and
I
really,
appreciate
really
that,
wants.
but I'm very busy.
Is your
This is a
husband
long
home?
time.
You really
Could
should
you
do
leave,
this.
please?
Ma'am, it'll only just take a few moments.
This time on a cross-hand technique. Would you like to grab on again, please? We've got another option that we can use. If you grab on the thumb and the fourth knuckle, as an alternative to taking him straight down this time, what Ellie's going to do is come in right tight under the armpit, reach all the way up and grab on the back, on top of the wrist. You can see she's right up tight here, this finger's out. Now the other hand's going to come back, push his elbow high. This is all the action here. Now, she has a few options. She can walk him straight ahead here, or she can drop him straight back down.
Excuse me, miss, you got the phone? Yes, what can I touch him? Let go of me! Let go of me, you creep!
If you find yourself in a situation where you're being pulled behind an attacker, actually being dragged along, pin his arm, drive your shoulder in with a big step, and then tuck it up in behind him. At this point, you can grab onto the ears, the hair, the eyes. Sometimes you may even come up and grab right inside the nostrils. Effectively control the attacker. When you're grabbed from the rear, what you can do is come back and grab on the back of the hair. In this situation, he doesn't have any. I can grab in on the back of the neck with my fingers, or quite often it's easy just to grab an ear, come around, give him a chop just below the bridge of the nose. This quite often will put him out. Failing that, come back up and use the knee right on the back of the head.
How you doing today, ma'am? I'm here from Freelance and I have a couple of things just to show you. Don't mind if I come in
Listen,
here?
I appreciate you stopping by,
no problem.
but I'm
Listen, it
busy
will only
right
take
now.
me just a second or two to set up.
I really don't have time to look at
Is your
anything.
husband here for the video?
I'm not going to answer that question, but could you leave,
Oh,
please?
listen, how about you
Listen,
just
I want you to
leave,
leave, okay?
Sometimes you'll find yourself in a situation where both hands are grabbed at the same time. In this particular situation, Ellie's hands have been grabbed above the wrists, so she can't actually use her fingers or her hands to neutralize the attack. What she's going to do is take a big step, hit both of the forearms of her attacker, together right on a pressure point. There's a pressure point 4 fingers up from his wrist. At that point, she breaks away, comes back with a simultaneous strike to the throat and to the solar plex. And then as she extends, drives him down.
The techniques which you have seen so far will enable most women to protect themselves in most cases. However, unless you have extensive martial arts training, there may be situations where you need additional help to overpower an attacker. For instance, what if you're attacked by a vicious animal, or you're physically handicapped? What if your attacker is extremely violent, or more than one aggressor confronts you? In these cases, the only answer may be to use a weapon, or face being assaulted or killed. Although a large number of self-defense weapons are readily available, many of them are more dangerous to you than carrying no weapon at all. In addition, the laws regarding the carrying of weapons may be highly restrictive in many regions, and injuring an attacker may leave you open to litigation. I really appreciate you meeting me here today, Dusty.
My pleasure, Sandra. What's on your mind?
Well, after taking your self-defense seminar, I really feel a lot more confident, but I still have a few concerns.
What sort of concerns do you have?
Well, there's just so much violence out there that I feel like maybe I should carry something in my purse.
You'd like to carry a weapon?
Well, I've been thinking about getting a gun.
A gun? Look, Sandra, a gun isn't always the answer. You probably have weapons in your purse right now.
Well, as a matter of fact, I have been carrying this.
Whoa, not what I had in mind. Do you think you could really stab someone?
Well, no, but I think maybe I could scare the guy.
Forget it. 2 reasons. First of all, idle threats seldom scare an attacker. And secondly, that knife can be used against you. Sharp objects carried in a purse may give you more problems than they're worth. Quite frequently, if a lady does carry a sharp object, for example a knife, she'll show it and threaten the attacker with it. At that point that she shows it, it gives an opportunity for the attacker to reverse the situation and then again use the knife against her. Interesting weapons collection, Don. What sort of weapons do you recommend women carry in their purse?
Well, let's look at weapons that you shouldn't carry. First of all, knives. I'm sure Mr. Sackman has shown you how a knife can be used against you, especially when you're not properly trained. Secondly, guns. Even with extensive training, they have very limited use, especially in surprise attacks and close proximity attacks. Lastly, some people advocate the use of a flare gun. Flare guns are subject to the same drawbacks that guns are. Misfires frequently occur with pen-type flare guns, and as well, the results of the flare gun striking the target can be very unpredictable. The accuracy of a flare gun is also very often unpredictable and may prove dangerous to you as well.
What is this?
It's a stun gun. Some authorities recommend that you threaten the attacker with the weapon to scare him off. Now, realistically, any weapon that you use requires the element of surprise to be effective. The stun gun, if used properly, causes an attacker to lose control of his voluntary muscles and drop to the ground for about 20 minutes, allowing you to get away. Whether you're using hand technique or a weapon, take control away from the attacker quickly, decisively, and with confidence.
The stun gun may have limited usefulness due to its large size and relative ineffectiveness. It may also be illegal in many areas. A legal alternative is the use of a blunt object to apply sudden and painful blows to the attacker's body. Commercially made blunt objects such as these are available in martial arts and gun stores. One quick blow with this on a sensitive area of the attacker's body and he may be stunned long enough for you to make your escape.
Although there are over 300 pressure points in the body, we're going to only look at a few of them that are really easy to find. Any blunt object can be used as a weapon. In this case, I'm using a hairbrush, and it's quite easy to focus all of my energy into a small area by using a blunt object like this. First pressure point we're going to look at is in an area right near the center of the cheek here, right on the hinge of the jaw. And we're going to focus the energy into that point. It inflicts a lot of pain and actually causes some serious damage, can actually dislocate the jaw. The second one we're going to look at is just underneath the nose near the top of the lip. And by pushing in here, in towards his head and back up, it inflicts a lot of pain and can certainly give you a good distraction and actually give you a chance to get away. The third pressure point we're looking at is just below the bridge of the nose and near the orbit of the eye, right in this little corner. And as we come in here, we can actually push on that. Causes a lot of pain, and it won't really do any serious damage to the eye itself. Another blunt object you may have available is a flashlight. And this again can be used to specifically target a pressure point. Let's look at a couple on the body. Right on top of the collarbone, there's a nerve that runs over the lip of it. And by just coming over and pressing down on that, we can certainly cause a lot of pain. Most frequently used, if you can grab onto the clothes or the back of the head so the individual isn't going to get away on you, you can use a little more pressure. Another area that is an easy target with in the torso area is in the solar plexus area. Now, if I strike with a palm strike into the solar plexus, I can certainly do some damage, even with a fist. But I'm using a large surface area. If I go to a small phoenix eye and just insert a knuckle into there, it certainly targets the area a lot better, or even, again, a blunt object, pushing straight in on the specific pressure point itself. Moving on down to the lower limbs, let's take a look at some pressure points that we've got down here. Halfway between the knee and the hip bone, there's, on the outside of the area of the leg itself, is a pressure point right up in here. Now, even something as common as a toothbrush can be used to strike in that area, or actually just even pushing in that area and take a man down. Going right down to the foot, 2 fingers up from the toes, there's a pressure-sensitive area right in here. Now, I can target that, once again, with a weapon, with my knuckle, or actually quite frequently, especially for ladies, you can come in and just use the heel of your foot.
Far and above, the most promising new development in self-defense weapons is the use of various extracts of cayenne pepper. This common spice contains an alkaloid known as capsicum, which gives hot food its bite. If concentrated into solution, capsicum also is a powerful irritant on the delicate tissues covering the eye and the respiratory system. This substance is so powerful that it is now commercially available as bear repellent. One good spray from this canister will stop a charging grizzly bear from 25 feet and render it helpless for several minutes. Smaller canisters are commercially available for use against human attackers or dogs. However, a concentrated solution of capsicum is easy to make at home or is sold in stores as hot pepper sauce and can be carried in a small spray bottle such as this. To use this weapon, the bottle should be kept concealed in the palm of the hand until one was sure that an attack was taking place. The spout can be opened with your thumb and the contents of the bottle rapidly discharged into the attacker's face, which would leave him severely stunned. The effectiveness of hot pepper solutions against human and animal aggressors is now well established. There's also very little likelihood of serious or permanent damage to the attacker, thus reducing the chance that you could be sued for damages to the criminal that attacked you.
Stop! Don't make a sound! I'm gonna cut you in pieces if you make a sound. Shut up! Quiet! Come with me! Quiet! Don't make a sound! Don't move! This is gonna be cutting you in pieces if you don't shut up! Sit down! Get down! Lay there! Don't make a sound! Quiet!
The world is a dangerous place. It's up to you. Live in fear or live in confidence. Practice what you've just seen, and you will be your own bodyguard.